Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our weekly political program coming to you live on Lagos television. I am Ajibola Ojeshola. Nigerians ushered in the month of August with protests. The news has been around for a while that come 1st of August, Nigerians are going to take to the streets and, of course, protest against bad governance. It was actually hashtag end bad governance in Nigeria. People actually demanded that Mr. President should engage them, talk to them, and finally, on Sunday, the beginning of this week, Mr. President did address Nigerians, and since then, different reactions have been trailing the presidential broadcast of Sunday. Some were satisfied, some were not satisfied, but whether we like it or not, for every disagreement, we must come to a roundtable and dialogue. This evening on the program, we are looking at the nationwide protests as well as the impact of the presidential broadcast of Sunday. But first of all, we'll take a very quick break on the program to bring you some of the trending news in the polity. Stay with us. You're welcome back, and the program is still the Pendulum, our weekly political program on Lagos television. I did say earlier that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu addressed Nigerians after a few days of the nationwide protests. People are actually demanding for good governance. The cost of food items is high, and when Mr. President was campaigning, he did promise that he's going to renew her hope. But now Nigerians are worried as to the sincerity of the present government regarding the renewal of their hope. This evening on the program, we have one of those who campaigned rigorously for the emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he had been on this program before, amplifying the fact that Nigerians need to elect Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the President. Now he is the President, and Nigerians are complaining, demanding for good governance. It is my pleasure to welcome to the Pendulum this week Dr. Akeem Adetugbobo is an APC chieftain here in Lagos State. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. Same here.
All right, I'm sure you are not alien to what has been happening in some parts of the country, including Lagos and some other parts of their country, Nigeria. The nationwide protests, essentially, people are complaining about the fact that life is hard, they can barely feed, they can barely survive, and contrary to what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised them, they are not feeling the impact of good governance yet. What say you to all of this?
Well, the unfortunate truth is that Nigerians are happy to Nigeria. Nigerians are happy to
Nigeria.
And our leader will come from our own socks. So our leader is the reflection of who we are. And very candidly, the regime of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is slightly over a year, and he has brought out very fantastic policies, which if Nigerians are not happening to Nigeria, would have started feeling that dividends of democracy. Part of these policies are this financial autonomy to the local government.
How does that make us feed as Nigerians? How does that put table on the food of Nigerians?
I will explain to you. You see, the local government chairman don't have immunity. And on the average, each local government chairman is collecting about 400 million. So if they were purposeful about that, and that money, they are the grassroots. And majority of Nigeria's population is on the grassroots level. So if this money is purposely utilized by this local government chairman, you would have seen a lot of relief.
But they're not getting their allocation directly yet. even after the Supreme Court judgment. Before now, their phones were being controlled by governors.
Yeah, but I must give a lot of kudos to Mr. Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. It's only Lagos State that does not take a dime from the funds of local government chairman. And those even in Lagos State, if we had had that impact of that tremendous amount that flows into the generality of the populace, there would have been a lot of succor. It takes a very bold step to be able to fight for that autonomy, which we must give President Tinubu a lot of kudos to. Yes, there's hungry. Yes, people are hungry. The economy is terrible. There are certain things that add snowball into that. The food insecurity, the insecurity around in the northern states had actually been there had been protected for a very long time. That's why a lot of people could not go to the farm. But do we have insecurity in the Southwest? No. We don't. Majority of the Southwest, what were we known for before the advent of petroleum crude oil? We used to export cocoa flowers abroad, and that's from the basics of positive trade balance. But now, that at all, there's no more in existence. So we really need to go back to the farm and do a revolutionary operation feed.
Dr. Adetukubo, for an average Nigerian, the poor Nigerians at the grassroots, those things that you have highlighted just now, someone that is literate might be able to comprehend some of them. But for those market men and women, those are the lower cadre of the society, all they want to hear is, I want to eat. People can barely buy gari now. People can barely feed. A crate of egg is as high as 5,000-6,000 naira now. So, and when people cannot eat, there is every tendency that they might take to crime. And so Nigerians are on the street now, calling on governments that you promised. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did say that, do not pity me, I called for this job. When you look at the lifestyle of the political class, it's a sharp contrast to what Nigerians are going through.
Yes, I think what we should be expecting from President Bola Tinubu and Ahmed now going forward is he will be firm on most of his aides, the ministers, the local government chairman that are going to be having a lot of. So any one of them that is being seen as not being prudent or with high level of impunity will face the world of it. And there is only when he does that, which he's going to do, that you realize that this when the funds flow into the masses, into the economy, you realize, rather than being stocked within selected few of the selected elites, because that's actually the problem. That is really the problem. When that money, when the cash flow is just limited within some few elites, when this fund flows into generality, the purchasing power will be higher.
How long shall we wait? Because you're telling us now that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is barely 1 year in office. It was the same president who projected the former president to us, President Muhammadu Buhari. The first 4 years, we were told to be patient. Another 4 years, making 8. And yet things did not improve. Nigerians are very apprehensive now, and of course worried that by next year, most politicians, their concern will be 2027. So how long shall we wait as Nigerians? And for some of these ministers, we have seen their lifestyle. One of such is the Minister for Women Affairs, who boldly said on a national TV that she used 1.5 million naira to move from Abuja to Anambra State, and she considered that as nothing.
Yes.
And yet she's still in power.
Yes, that's one of I just told you that you see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu being firmer with his aides now. That's one of the things you start seeing. It's not going to be business as usual again. Because he had actually done, if you have to assess the policy as it's been audacious. You see, petroleum subsidy is a scam, which he had removed. Dollar exchange rate is just enriching very selected number of Nigerians, which he had done. And the excess amount accruing to this, he has put down to move into the economy through the local government chairman, because the majority of Nigerians are in the grassroots, in the local government, which he believed that if they utilize that money very well, things would spread down and trickle down to give succor.
So because of the removal of subsidy, we get more money now. In his address on Sunday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu boldly told Nigerians that he had given 570 billion to the governors. And when you look at some states in the country, you can barely see any significant impact of democracy.
Yes.
So will that not repeat itself at the grassroots as well?
That's why you see the difference between the local government chairman and the governor is that the governors have immunity, so they can be tried within the tenure. But the local government chairman don't. So it's good. It's a very laudable and very nice for the generality of Nigeria. That so what most of these NGOs and most of the students and the youth should focus now on should be the local government chairman.
For a man that is hungry.
No, because when you owe them,
if you are hungry, you cannot think aright. And you have every tendency to be angry. That is why Nigerians took to the streets.
You see, the truth is this. No sensible decision is ever made in an emotional state of mind. Either when you are overexcited or you're hungry. You see, this hunger period, basically, is a reflection of the fact that when you compare Nigeria with UK, US, you see, in Nigeria, a lot of people believe that you have very high level of undue entitlement, whereby you don't believe you should work for money, dignity in hand. So you rather say, oh, bros, can I have this? Uncle, I need money. You won't do that abroad. Nobody will answer you. So most of the assets that those people you were requesting for were giving you, is no longer there. So we should all go back to a place to get to our to go and add value in terms of hard work.
Okay.
Be employed and go back to the farm. But when the peasant farming can no longer sustain Nigeria. Okay. So the government should do more.
All right.
Towards mechanized farming.
Talking about sustainability of mechanized farming, we'll come back to that. We have to go on a very short break at this moment to take the soundbite of the week. Stay with us.
I am especially pained by the loss of lives in Borno, Jigawa, Kano, Kaduna, and other states, the destruction of facilities in some states, and the wanton looting of supermarkets and shops, contrary to the promise of protest organizers that the protest will be peaceful across the country. The destruction of properties set us back as a nation, as scarce resources will be again used to restore them.
I still have in the studio with me Dr. Hakeem Adetububo, an APC chieftain in Lagos State, and so far he's been giving us his own perspective on the nationwide protests and the and the impact of the presidential broadcast of Sunday. Now, in some part of the country, like I said at the beginning of the program, Nigerians are still on the street. What do you think the government should do now to at least reorientate them, make them see reasons, because they are hungry and they have every right as Nigerians to complain and to protest? What do you think government should be telling them now to at least change their orientation, give them hope for a better tomorrow?
Yeah, I think that actually started with what if you see the broadcast of the president on Sunday, if you listen to it and analyze it, what he did was to read out the good policy he has done and why Nigerians should be patient. And he had removed some
Import
duties on food, so that this can actually bring, pending the time that he had already highlighted some amount of arable land for rice farming, some acres, several acres for rice farming, for maize. So pending the time we start seeing that those farm products come out to the market. But more importantly, most of each of the region should come out and encourage, stimulate their people to get to farming. You see, it's only agriculture that we can compete globally. We can't compete globally with manufacturing, because most of these countries are far advanced with us. So let's go back to agriculture. Most of our graduates, very unfortunately, most of our graduates realize that the era of white-collar jobs, young graduates, is no more there.
Okay, what about the political class? What should they sacrifice?
Yeah, the political class should know that it's no more business as usual. They are representative of people, and their people are angry. They should find a way to appeal to them by changing the flamboyant lifestyle they've been living, because that's actually the major reason that had actually changed the share value system of Nigeria. Because when a lot of people, which will still come a bit very worse with this local government autonomy, because you see a lot of people coming to and get into the local government election, because they believe that. So the only thing which has been President Ahmed Tinubu had assured Nigeria that it will be more fair, which is it.
Okay. As we begin to coast home now, do you still believe in the renewed hope agenda of this administration?
Is the renewed, you see, President Tinubu government is just about 13, 14 months, and the policy has laid out is like laying the foundation for the rot of the past, so that Nigeria can start afresh, and we can and Nigeria can be greater for our younger generations to be part of Nigeria.
Okay, that's a very good point to put an end to our discussion today on the program. Dr. Hakeem Adetububo giving us his own perspective on the presidential broadcast of Sunday, and of course the nationwide protest taking place in different parts of the country. It is constitutional for everyone to protest, but if at all we want to do it in any part of the country, please let us be civil, do not be destructive, do not go violent, and of course when you do things in accordance with the law, then the government of the day will be able to listen. Like Mr. President rightly said on Sunday, he has heard Nigerians loud and clear, and he has created room for dialogue. Dialogue is the only solution to this problem. And of course, a bit of more time for this administration, so that very soon we can begin to feel the impact of good governance as promised by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu while he was campaigning for this particular position. We thank you very much, Dr. Hakeem Adetubobo, for your time on the program.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having
That's the Pendulum this evening. We thank you very much for watching. I am Ajibola Ojeshola. I'll see you some other time. Bye for now.